No, what Aarti is saying is absolutely right. It's not going to be easy to dismantle this conflict entrepreneurship and people who have thrived from it over the last 30 odd years in the Kashmir Valley. Yes, Article 370 is gone. That is a significant step, no doubt about it. The data shows that the number of terrorist attacks has come down, both in terms of cross-border terror as well as indigenous terror that is happening in Kashmir. But the fact is, Lalit, and I want to ask you this as a Kashmiri Pandit, today, do you feel safe to go back to Kashmir? Does your family feel safe to go back to Kashmir? And please bring us up to speed with what Sushant and Ambassador Trigoni had said that, well, yes, the UNHRC may be a biased organization, but at least you've got the Pandit view out there from the highest human rights body in the world.
Zaka, let me first convey to you, it's not for the first time Kashmiri Pandits have spoken at UNHRC Geneva. In 1992-93, our people have been part of the delegation on behalf of Indian group, who have been there. Panun Kashmir's leader, Dr. Ajay Surangu, made a special presentation there in Geneva. The question is, yes, at that time, there was a risk of putting some sanction against India. And let me also remind that Iran came to rescue. Narasimha Rao was the prime minister, and Mr. Dinesh Singh was our foreign minister. He was sick, very seriously ill in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. He was taken out right at night on a stretcher, put onto a air ambulance, taken to Iran. There he spoke to his counterparts and returned back with an optimistic response from the Iranians, and the situation was saved in Geneva. But the point is, do we realize, do we acknowledge what we have on hand in Kashmir? Look, Kashmir Jihad is a military problem. We have not been formally saying that what India has on hand in Kashmir is Kashmir Jihad, is a pan-Islamism inspired, terror-infested, expansionist Kashmir Jihad. And then they have been trying all these 32 years to expand, to spread their tentacles in Jammu region. But Jammu people, Dogras, have resisted. They were able to resist it because of the demographic situation there. But in Kashmir, Kashmiri Hindus suffered genocide. And yes, I repeat on your channel, I said it earlier, even the present government has not yet acknowledged what Kashmiri Hindus have suffered was genocide. And you know what the tools of genocide were? Rape, murder, and mass murder. And yet, there is no acknowledgement on behalf of the government. How do you expect the world to respond? You can't use Kashmiri Pandits to save a situation in Geneva, in front of the international community, while as on your own, your BJPs, the current establishment's representative on your channel, told me, Lalit, you must move on. If this is how you're going to treat the victims of genocide internally, on behalf of the government of India, then you can imagine what would be the response globally. Okay. I don't think it does make any difference. Now we are in a better situation. We are not facing any sanctions. I think it's a ritualistic. Unless and until government of India does it on its own, realizes that they have to acknowledge what Kashmiri Hindus have suffered. Can you imagine not one rapist, murderer, mass murderer has ever been charged in Kashmir, ever been tried? This Bita Karate, Farooq Ahmed Dar's trial was announced with pomp and show. Here is a self-acclaimed butcher of Kashmiri Hindus. Yeah. He is being tried in Kashmir. Of course, not for Kashmiri Hindus genocide, for terror fund. Even then, yes, there was one case that was against him. The trial began. One hearing was held. Subsequently, two subsequent hearings were abandoned, were aborted, because the local administration failed to provide security to the counsel of the victim's family. He had to return back from the Srinagar airport, and since then it's quiet. So what we have to understand, see, genocide has an aspect to it, very important aspect to it. If you do not acknowledge it, if you do not check it, it has a tendency to replicate itself.
All right, let me